Hey, today's blog post is just some brief information about how to conduct yourself during a phone interview, because more and more companies are using phone interviews as a very effective tool for pre-screening job applicants to bring in the most qualified people for a face-to-face interview. So don't be surprised if you've applied for a job and you get a call back and they say they want to do a phone interview with you. Sometimes it'll be a one-on-one interview with one individual, or you may find yourself on a speakerphone with more than one, maybe two or three people that are going to go through this process with you of talking on the phone in order to determine if they want to take the time to bring you in for face-to-face interview. Which really leads me to the main point I want to make in this video for you, or on the blog post here, is you've got to practice the phone interview as much as you do the face-to-face interview, so that your confidence level is up and you project that over the telephone and that they can hear it. So just make sure that you role play again with a family member, talk on the phone, pretend like you asked yourself a question, and walk yourself through that, because the more you do that and the more comfortable you become with the process, the better you're going to be at it. You want to make sure that you also have some things handy. The difference here too is that you're not in front of somebody, so you have the benefit of being able to lay your things out on a table in a manner that flows for you to be able to access it when you're asked questions. Clearly you want to have your resume handy, because they're probably going to ask you questions about that, and you want to access it or have it right there to where you can look at it and say, well, here's what I did when I went from here to here, or this position to that position, this company to that company. So just make sure you have it handy. Also, keep a list of your accomplishments that would be separate from your resume. A few things that, when I tackled this project, or I did this, I had this challenge and I overcame it. Because if the opportunity presents itself, you want to be able to talk about that with the interviewer that is talking to you on the phone. So just have a few notes of some past accomplishments handy. A pen and paper is going to be very handy for you to jot down your own thoughts while the interview is going on. Again, they're not going to see you doing this and such, so you can write down comments that you hear the interviewer make, or something for them to say, an important issue for us is, write that down so you know it, because it's going to be something you're going to need for reference. If you go to the face-to-face interview, you'll be able to review those notes and know, again, this was an important issue for them. They kept bringing this up. They mentioned this, and you can expect that it's going to be talked about when they sit down with you face-to-face. Talking on the phone is not as easy as most people think. So again, just make sure that you practice and try to work on avoiding the things that we may do in a little bit more of a relaxed phone conversation, meaning, speak loudly and clearly. Try to avoid saying, yep, those kind of things. Speak more clearly with diction, so that, again, they can hear and sense a level of professionalism from you and how you deliver yourself. Really important for salespeople, because you're going to be in front of clients, and in an interview, you're being graded on how would this person do in representing our company in front of somebody else. So a few final things to keep in mind is put yourself in a room or a situation in your home or in your vehicle, wherever, where you have nobody to interrupt you. No sounds in the background like children, the dogs barking, doorbells ringing, phone ringing, any of those kind of things. If you're not sure that you are going to get good reception on your cell phone, use a landline, so that you don't have the issue of the phone call being dropped and then having to connect with each other again or something like that. Don't smoke, don't chew gum, don't eat, any of those kind of things. Certainly you want to keep a bottle of water handy, or a glass of water to be able to take a drink, because of the nervousness that's going to be there. But again, speak loudly and clearly. Don't interrupt the interviewer. The whole intent of this phone interview, again, is to get yourself positioned to be asked to come in for a face-to-face interview. So you've got to shine in this as much as you do in the face-to-face interview to continue to make it to that next level. Ask the interviewer what the next step is and how you'll be notified. Make sure that you take down the names of the people that you're interviewing with, but also ask them, when will I be contacted? How will I know? Will I know either way, or will you just call back those that are going to the next interview, and if I don't get a call, that means no? Again, be very direct with them to ask them, what should you expect and how will it be handled, so that you completely close the loop and you know what the next step in the process is going to be. Finally, when you're done with the phone call, use your pen and paper to jot some notes down that are in your mind, because you're going to be thinking, I think I did really well, or gosh, I could have answered that better. So just write those notes down, because you're gonna use it not only for this one, but for other interviews to know that, I don't want to sound like that, or I don't want to answer that question that way. That wasn't the right answer, or here's another question I want to ask an interviewer that I didn't ask last time. So just use those, because you'll have those thoughts immediately as you hang up the telephone. I wish, or I shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of things. And then finally, take out a thank you note and write a brief thank you to the interviewer or interviewers that talk to you on the phone. Thank them for their time and for the explanation of the process, and that you look forward to the next step in continuing discussion with them about a possible job or career position with them. So hopefully those tips help you out, and I'm sure you'll do fine if you just practice and continue to look at the resources here on the website. As I tell everybody too, only you can make it a great day, so go out and do so.